What up, dude bros? I'm Frank. This is my modified Nerf Stryfe to look like a Scorpion EVO. Pretty basic Stryfe modifications, but I just did a basic rewire. I took out the mechanical locks, re-lubricated the trigger mech and some of the moving stuff, just so it operates a little bit more smoothly, and I'm running on 3 IMRs and 1 dummy battery. And those are housed just in the factory battery tray right there. I've added a little worker screw on the battery tray because I change up my battery so often, so I don't need a screwdriver to remove that. I'm just like twist, twist, twist with the hands. I've done these Stryfe modifications like at least 100 times now. Pretty quick at them, and it's really just the basic stuff to get good performance out of the Stryfe. Then beyond the internal mods, I've also added a kit from Worker, or F10555, the 3D printing section of Worker. This kit was specifically engineered for the Stryfe, so it fits it very well. If you can see the front end, it all just moves very smoothly, so it fits specifically on the Stryfe. Obviously, it's not color matched, but I think it looks cool because it looks like cool and kind of hardcore, but it's still orange, so it doesn't look not like a toy. Some of the Worker or F10555 parts can be completely added on without opening the blaster. That's not the case for this one. You have to open up the Stryfe to put on the front like attachment hub, and I also have a Scar kit. It has the same attachment hub. After you put on the front like attachment hub or whatever they call it, you can slide on the front barrel unit right here. Then you slide in the barrel and the flash hider within that. These tactical rails on the side here are not In-Strike tactical rails. These are like Picatinny rails, so if you have airsoft or firearm accessories, they'll fit onto there. I don't plan to attach anything to these, but I just think they look cool and they really complete the look of a Scorpion EVO. Included in this kit are the iron sights, so I attached those. Even though I have a red dot, I think the iron sights just kind of look cool. These are also 3D printed, and they're printed to look like the real component, but they don't function like them. For example, the rear sight, you should be able to flip between 2 apertures for like which range you're engaging at. It's not the case, it's just fixed. I'm not complaining or anything, I'm just pointing out with Nerf, I don't use the sights at all ever, so being able to flip from like long range to short range wouldn't make much sense to me. But they look pretty cool, and the top rail is again another Picatinny rail just like this one. Attached to it I have this little red dot sight. It's a cheapo little sight I bought on Amazon for like 30 bucks. I just think it looks cool. Kind of fits the CQB look instead of like a giant scope or whatever. Then moving back to the stock, this is modeled after the Scorpion EVO stock, and just like the lack of function in the iron sights, this doesn't move, it doesn't collapse, it doesn't do anything like that. It's just a fixed stock. Although the attachment point is not 3D printed, that is injection molded like a lot of the other Worker components. And I think that was a brilliant call by Worker because they can injection mold like a bunch of these little kits, and that's a much stronger joint, so it clicks on there really nicely. The 3D printed components are pretty strong, and I'm not trying to knock them, but they're 3D printed. So injection molded stuff is typically, at least in my experience, a little bit stronger. The length of the stock is comfortable. I have shouldered a few Scorpion EVOs with this modeled stock, but I can't really recall the length of pull there, so I can't compare it to that, but it's comfortable. And the last component is the magazine. This is the Worker Hex Mag. This is not 3D printed, this is also injection molded. I have a number of the Worker mags, and this one's just a touch longer, lay side by side. This is the Worker P Mag. This has a capacity of 12 rounds. This is the Hex Mag. It has a capacity of 15 rounds. Not a huge difference, and it's also a different like appearance. This is the Hex Mag because the hexagons, get it? And this is the first Hex Mag from Worker that I've used, but it feeds just as smoothly as their other products. Yeah, so those are the externals. I did attach this kit to my blue Stryfe at first, but I switched it over to the orange one because the blue one, it's with the black components and the blue base, it just looks a little too dark and a little bit too much like a gun for my taste. Only bringing this up in case you had a blue Stryfe and you were just curious what this kit would look like on that one instead of the orange one. If you're gonna paint it though, Pretty Plocks don't attach it to a blue Stryfe because blue Stryfes are getting harder and harder to come by, and the blue ones, just because they're different, look cool. So pretty please don't paint those. If you're gonna paint them, get an orange one. Regarding the color, I feel obligated to kind of give you a PSA. If you're going to install aftermarket components to your Nerf blaster to make it look realistic, be very careful if you go outside or play in a public space. Even though this base is orange, when I'm running around like this, and maybe if my body's covering a lot of the orange, and especially if you attach this to a blue Stryfe, it's a lot of dark colors. When you're aggressively pointing it at somebody, trying to shoot them, even though you're shooting them with a foam and you're just playing tag, just a normal dude bro walking his dog around your house or whatever might think you're being more aggressive than you are. You know, like trying to kill your friend instead of fling foam at them. So super serial warning, please be careful. I don't play in public spaces or where I'm visible from anybody that's not included in my Nerf game. So nobody will see this and think I'm trying to shoot somebody. I could run around naked and nobody would see me. Frank, just cut that part? Yep. Where was I? Like I mentioned, it's modeled after the Scorpion EVO, but there are some changes. This is like a rifle size magazine, and the Scorpion EVO's not chambered in rifle cartridges. But I do actually own a Scorpion EVO, and this is one right here, just a little side by side. The weighting's obviously quite different. This is very light, being plastic. I didn't actually look at them side by side before I brought it over here, and I realized all of this is completely off. This is not a Scorpion EVO stock, by the way. This is technically a pistol, not a short-barreled rifle or a rifle. This is an arm brace. Yay, ATF. because I go to the range and shoot this like this. No, I don't. Shouldering an arm brace is supposed to be illegal according to the ATF's opinion letter. Everybody's got an opinion though. The front end definitely looks similar. It's again not meant to be a one-to-one just because of it. I mean, it's a Nerf blaster. It's not like designed at all the same. And I think they really nailed the front end. The back, again, this is not a Scorpion EVO stock, even though it's on a Scorpion EVO, so that might be confusing. With the length of the darts, obviously the magazine is gonna look off because that's chambered in 9mm. Maybe like lay freeze frame, stay there, side by side, boom. Yeah, so with the basic internal modifications running on 3 IMRs and 1 dummy battery, the performance is pretty good. So here is some firing. Last man. In the face. Who needs ammo? It just chuck mags at people. Overall, pretty happy with the project. Pretty simple project, didn't take too long at all. I've rewired so many stripes like this, I could do it pretty much blindfolded at this point, and it yields acceptable performance under my standards. Little overview just to show off the kit. I built this one just to look cool, and being straight, that's why I built it, not really to perform or to defeat others in Nerf wars. Although with the basic mods, it does perform well. I mean, it'll hold its own. Build quality is as expected. I've used a lot of Worker and F10555 3D printed components now. 3D printed parts will come with that graining. Going over the 3D printed parts in this kit, the stock, but not the attachment point like I mentioned. Both of the iron sights, this top rail is injection molded. The whole front unit is 3D printed, but then the rails that you bolt on are injection molded. And the flash hider is also 3D printed, and I might be missing something. That is, yeah. Oh, and this is injection molded as well. 3D printed magazine. That might not end well. Hot summer's day, yeah, having your parts melt in the Florida sun. Yeah, so pretty happy with the project. I think it looks really cool. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's this mod overview. Thanks so much for watching. As always, bros, stay tactical.